So, our first letter. Dear sisters, I have a very special and delicate issue. I have been dating my uncle's daughter, my cousin, for the past 2 years. Our relationship is very serious to the extent that I don't want to be separated from her because I'm deeply in love with her. So, we have so many things in common. We make a perfect match and we have a very strong bond. Sisters, don't get me wrong. We know that what we have is an abomination. We didn't mean to date in the first place. But when we started communicating, we realized we both act and think alike, and we would be good together. Weeks passed by, and the likeness for each other grew stronger and stronger. We then decided to give it a try, and we both fell in love. The issue now is we are 29 going on 30, and I want to settle with my lady so that we can start making babies. We, however, don't know how to inform our families. We have thought of different options of settling legally to move on with our lives. We considered getting some people to go with us to court to sign and get married, or even traveling abroad to settle without the interference of our families. I want to do honor my lady by doing right by her. I tried hinting my mother once in a conversation, but I don't think she got it. Time is not on our sides. How do we go about this? My lady deserves the best, and I don't plan on giving her anything short of that. Sisters, the love that binds us cannot be broken. Please help me. Sisters. I'm going to start with you, Felicia.
Hey. I don't know whether I should sip before I proceed or I should just go ahead, but this is a very interesting story, and first of all, thank you for sharing your story with us. I know these things are very difficult to confront, because when you have such abominable stories hidden in your cupboards, it's difficult to pull them out. So first of all, thank you for coming out to share. You know, we have a bit of a Akan tradition that allows cross cousins to marry. That is the daughter or the child of your mother's brother. You could marry to the child of your mother's brother, or you could marry to the child of your father's sister. It's allowed in Akan. However, that is usually done in terms of like passing on kinship or passing on inheritance and stuff like that. Gone are the days, the olden days, the more affluent families try to keep wealth enclosed within their own family. Yeah. They try not to bring outsiders to benefit from what they have. And it was a way to keep, they call it the blood, like the pure lineage.
Yeah, pure blood, yeah.
Yeah, so they allowed for cross-cousin marriage. In this case, I think it's a cross-cousin relationship, meaning the boy is dating his mother's brother's child. But this is modern Ghana. And there are over 8 billion people out there in the world.
30 million in Ghana.
30 million in Ghana. From Ghana to Togo is not far. Recently, we just got back from AFCON with all the TikTokers, and we actually in a globalized world, where internet and social media platform has broken the what do you call it, territorial barriers of countries. Gentlemen, you couldn't find anybody to love other than this your cousin. What you people are doing, you know deep down in your soul, ingrained in your hearts, that it's an abomination. Yet she's the only one you want to marry. This story, dear my sister, I don't think it's something I personally will condone. Especially given the options we have available. If there was, is it called end times, and we were all stuck in Noah's Ark or somewhere in space, and we're supposed to procreate, then I can accept that, okay, gentlemen, go ahead and marry this love of your life. But if this is not the case, I feel there are so many options out there. And I don't think your families would in any way accept this relationship to happen. When you give birth to kids, what are you going to tell them?
Your mom and I were cousins?
We're cousins.
And are cousins.
Well, you know, the world is too confusing these days. I don't want to go into details. They're confused. People are identifying as different things. People are falling in love with cats. Please,
People don't identify as human beings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are hugging planes. People are having romantic relationship with seas and rivers. Let's keep it as such. Let's not extensively complicate the situation. I think it's high time. You've had it. Whatever you've had, it has happened.
Yes.
You want to give birth to kids. Have you talked? Let's talk about the scientific bits. DNA and all that. Like, you don't know the kind of children you'll be giving birth to this world, bringing problems, tormenting their lives because of something you could avoid.
Because of pure blood.
Because of pure blood thing. Like, I'm sure when these things were being practiced in the olden days, it had its own consequences that were hidden. Their kids were called Ensioba and other things, all born from these, how do you call, we call it incest. Yeah. Right? So, and I guess that is why it's not really being taken far. So, please just end this. I don't even know what to say. End whatever you have. It's not necessary.
Olivia?
I think.
Sometimes love is overrated. And in this context, I believe strongly that it's overrated.
Overrated, why?
Because she's your sister.
Basically.
She's literally your sister. What are you doing marrying your sister? What are you doing being sexually involved with your sister? What are you doing saying that you love? You might as well, you're supposed to love her in a platonic manner. You're not supposed to even look at her in a sexual way, form, or manner at all. So it's, you know the right thing to do. You know it's an abomination. You know that it will not be accepted. Why would you be hesitant to tell your parents and your family members about it? Once that innate thing is in you, that's telling you, hold on, somebody is going to disapprove. What I'm doing is not quite right. Everybody is going to go against you. Then you know in your heart that you're not supposed to be doing that. So therein lies you asking us what to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, love. You should not be in that relationship. Call it over, call it done, call it, it's not. Think about the consequences. Think about, first and foremost, you do know that your parents are going to be livid when you tell them this. And
so you definitely know that there's something wrong.
You know that there's something wrong. You know that everybody is not going to accept it. And you know the consequences. So you even thinking about, you're contemplating on actually eloping with her. Like, everything about it is wrong. And you don't want to, you have to always don't think about how you're feeling today. Don't think about just now. Think about the future. Think about the consequences of your decision. Think about the unborn children you're going to bring into the world with all kinds of birth defects. Think about, your parents, how they're going to feel. It's not just today you feel like so excited about it, but the consequences outweigh the negativity about what's happening, outweigh the positivity. Like, I'm even struggling to get
the words right.
Exactly. Or even I'm even struggling to find what good there could be in this relationship, besides the two of you thinking that you are in love.
Which you're not.
Which you are. Well, and in another breath, you also can't tell your heart who to love. But there's nothing right about this relationship. I believe that it should be put to a stop immediately. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's easier said than done. But it's either you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And in this case, it's the wrong thing. And I will not, because of the people involved, because of future stuff, no, please.
Right.
Stop it now.
So, Rosie, what are your thoughts on cultural sensitivity? Is it like this kind of situation? Is this something that's still happening?
I'm somewhere on the fence here. Because when it comes to tradition, second cousins, for instance, are allowed to marry. And there's nothing wrong with it traditionally. At least from where I come from. My parents are related. both of them are related. I've always known that they're related. And most of, especially the Ewes, most of us, when you dig deep, you realize that, especially those who are like pure Ewe, you realize that most of us are related one way or the other. So it's not anything new to me. The question is how direct the relation is. Now, I like to, you know, when someone in Ghana says my uncle, are they referring to their mother's brother, their mother's cousin, their mother's first cousin, mother's second cousin? So that is where the dynamics change. Now, scientifically, what is wrong is when siblings reproduce. That's when we have DNA mutation. There's really no study about cousins reproducing. Now, technically, I may not see anything wrong with it if it's second cousin or from the mother's side, so the DNAs are not exactly alike, but it's because of structure of the family. That's why this person is an uncle. Or maybe right from childbirth, they told them, oh, this one is my uncle. And you know, some families, once you come from the same area, oh, so you are now my cousin, you know, no view the deminya. So because of that, maybe that uncle may be exaggerated and not a direct uncle. So which means that this child may not be as close as it looks, or the pair may not be as close as it looks. Now, in the modern day, in modern day, when you say you are getting married to your cousin, it sounds absurd because of the times you are in. You'll be surprised that maybe if he told his mother in plain English, not trying to hint, the mother may go like, oh, it's okay. We even know her. It's acceptable.
But this one is the uncle's child.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
child.
If he came to the mother and told the mother that, look, this is what is happening. Me and this girl, we have feelings towards each other and want to do this. It may come out that that uncle is not as direct as you think.
All think. Yeah.
So they may allow that relationship to foster. But because in present day Ghana, if you open your mouth and say, I'm marrying my cousin, it's like the biggest taboo.
Abomination.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That look, on the face of it, it looks like a horror movie. But let's peruse the situation and figure out the exact link, the uncle link, because in Ghana we abuse the uncle auntie title.
Yeah.
So we have ones
We
that
even abuse sister and brother.
Sister and brother title.
Hey sis.
Yeah, hey sis.
Everybody's your
And
friend.
my very good friends come to the house. I'm like, oh, Danica, this is your auntie this is your auntie that. You know, so they grow up knowing that this is my auntie. You know, so I'm just saying that, I'm not saying that they are dumb, they don't know who their relatives are, but maybe that relationship between his parent and this uncle may actually be cousins, first cousins, or they may just be from the same town and they've struggled together and they've decided to call themselves brothers.
Right, but you know, from his letter, it almost sounds as if this person is his direct cousin.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
Because
that if it's his direct cousin.
If as an adult, this is someone going to 30.
No, that's what I'm saying,
you
that the
understand?
only
I feel
part-
like there's something wrong because there's a bit of fear.
Chris,
I'm
that's-
telling my
that's what I'm
mom, but
saying
she's
that-
not understanding.
You know, that's what I'm saying, that, you know, she didn't tell the mom. He tried to hint
he
the
said
mom.
hints the mom.
That's what I'm saying, that look, for me, I keep saying that whatever it is, you should try. On the face of it, like I said, it looks like a horror movie, but just maybe if you tell your mother that this is what I'm going through, your mother may spell the dynamics to you like, look, this is your sister, you can't go there. This is your direct first cousin, you can't go there. This man, my uncle, that is my brother, one mother, one father, so you can't go there. At least you know that it's something that you cannot do. But for me, the only part that jumps at me is that he's afraid to let people know. Now the thing is that how can you be afraid to let people know and yet you want to start a family, which means that eventually people are going to know. So instead of doing the wrong thing on the blind side of your family, who you quote unquote hold dear, why don't you at least let your intentions be known? Like I said, if he gave us the direct link to the uncle, then my arguments may actually stand or not stand. If the uncle is, let's say, my mother's brother, one mother, one father, then we know. Because in Ghana, uncle and auntie, they are thrown away, like we say it pretty casually. So I'm just sort of like, because what you have said, I agree, what you have said, I agree, but I'm just looking at another angle where that uncle relationship is not as close.
It's not a real kind of uncle.
It's not a real kind of uncle, but whatever it is, look, come clean. You look, come clean, let your parents know. If they tell you that this is an abomination, and like Olivia said, if it's an abomination, take steps to distance yourself from that, because we don't want to encourage that kind of inbreeding.
Right.
Also.
So let's talk about, we've talked about the traditional part and the cultural part of things, but legally, is it right?
Oh, legally it's more right than all the other leaves. Because legally it's just man, woman. Once you have two people representing you on each side, you can get married.
That's it.
Legally it's not a problem, but immorally, traditionally, that is where the question mark comes. And some people will also say religiously. That's when the question marks come. So all the morals, the religious, traditionally, that's where they may be serious. But as for legally, I don't think it's even a problem.
What I'm also thinking is, this guy, this gentleman writing to us, doesn't sound to me like someone who goes out there and is probably thinking he has limited options.
This is it.
True.
Right, this is it. This is the woman of my life.
Yeah, this is it.
Do you get it? And these things are things we need to look at carefully. I feel like they should give themselves time. 29 to 30 is not a year old. They are still young. Yes, Rosie.
Well, I haven't said anything.
Yes, there's this thing about, well, I don't believe in this biological clock thing that we've
But it's the man who is complaining, so he doesn't have a biological clock.
He wants to do right with his woman. He feels like my woman, and he calls him.
And he calls her my woman. He keeps saying my woman. I want to do right by a woman. So maybe this is actually his first woman too.
You know,
so he needs.
I was even about to say something, that siblings that grow together, sometimes you actually think that is your first love.
Yeah.
You know, that's sibling love. So sometimes when you have mixed sex children, that's why it's important that you don't do things like bathe them together, especially beyond a certain age.
And sleepovers.
Or sleep together on the same bed and stuff like that, because sometimes some of these actions, they sort of like foster these behaviors. So if what you met from the word go was your cousin, let's say they were closely knit, and they go for functions together. When there's a family function, let's say there's a funeral, everybody comes to a family house and then they sleep over and things like that, and that is his best friend. Sometimes they translate that love that they have for each other as family, they move it to a next level and make it more a romantic affair. And it is not something that is out of the ordinary. A lot of siblings have actually engaged in some form of experimental,
sexual,
romantic something growing up, you know. That's where all this mommy and papa came from.
We'll call it sexual.
No, hold on. That's what I'm saying, that's where mommy and papa came from. So mommy and papa, they are playing, they are doing role plays, and they sort of like have affection towards each other. So like Felicia said, maybe
I didn't like my brother.
He sort of like had, between the two of them, they clicked right from childhood. So they've always had that sort of liking and love for each other. But unfortunately, they moved it to the next level. From curiosity, now they've moved it to another level where they're actually involved. So maybe it's time for him to sort of step out.
But surprisingly, they both known from day one.
Yes, that's my
that
problem.
They shouldn't be doing it openly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it means that if they are romantically involved, or maybe he's touching her in a certain way, mommy is going to say, hey, stop it. Or auntie is going to say, hey, why?
So I feel like there's something inside them that knows that this is
wrong. Wait. Now let me give you a scenario. Even those of us who started life dating a boy that was not our brother or our cousin or related. Listen, when you want to break your innocence, you don't publicize it that you are breaking your innocence. You do it in hiding. Maybe this Gen Z generation, maybe they are different. Like, mommy, I got a boyfriend, and it's a different thing. But our time,
you dare not.
If you like, you dare not. They can't even come and visit you at home.
Right.
Let alone for you to admit. That's what I'm saying, that growing up, whether it's your brother, your sister, or even a whatever it is, it's difficult for you to openly admit to your parents that you're involved with somebody.
Right.
So I'm just saying that, look, that thing is there. So I'm just saying that, look, for me, I would rather go with Felicia and say that, look, he should try, since he's the one sending the message, he should try and open up his boundaries.
Horizon,
his horizon, so that he can explore more. and also encourage the woman to also explore more,
Explore,
so
yeah.
that both of them can see that there's more to it than both of them.
Than this
For me, I
family.
think it's sibling love gone out of hand.
And there's one thing I want to throw in there. You know, there are lots of men who who talk about their cousins breaking their virginity.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we also look at it from that angle? Because could this be that she was the first girl he encountered, and I think it's around
And the
the same
first boy
line.
that
Anyway.
she
She
also
also
encountered.
Anyway, sorry, I'm sorry, I have
So-
to cut you now because time is running. So it's time for us to take a quick break and we will be back.